Looking for a place for the whole family? Come down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages. Tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your event in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden.
Okay, a very good evening to all of my friends and relatives and well-wishers. Once again, welcome to our program. And today we're not going to be live, we're going to be live streaming. So it's another historic day today. It's the 17th day of September 2020. And once it is gone, it will never return. So you're fortunate to witness history. And if you're alive and you're well, that's a wonderful thing. If you're not so well, then I would hope that somehow you would find a way to get yourself to the point where you can recover and get well. I wanted to, this is for our Guyana audience, I wanted to mention a few things about our visit, which we're going to have by Mr. Pompeo. And I would say that a visit from someone at that level is something that merits, it speaks a lot. You know, it is very, very seldom that someone with that capacity, would visit a country unless there was a big reason. There has to be a reason. And we should be not concerned, but open-minded. You know, we jump to conclusion too fast. Guyanese jump to conclusion too quickly. And I like to look at things from the positive standpoint. And I'm hoping that Mr. Pompeo is bringing good tidings. You know, he's coming here with with positive vibes, as we say. And I'm hoping that that when he leaves, something good will come out of his visit, or lots of good things will come out of his visit. If I were you and I were there and I had an opportunity to ask him a question, as a Guyanese citizen who may want to visit US, visit the United States for some reason or another, I would ask Mr. Pompeo, what can he do to make it a little easier for us to be able to have a visa to visit the Americas? And I would also ask him to reduce the fees for visas, because we still have to pay to travel. We still have to pay, you know, when you get to America, there's money you're spending all the time. And I would ask him if it's possible that they can reduce the fees, knowing the state that we're in, number one. And number two, if my visa is disapproved when I do go, is it possible that some sort of a, maybe some compensation can be given so that I can have a little refund of some sort, you know? Something like that. I would ask him, could we have a refund? Or if it's disapproved, can we have a 10% back or a 20% back, or some sort of a refund of some sort, even if it's 50% maybe, you know? Because You spend about 10 minutes, if that much. You spend all day in the line, and then you spend about 10 minutes, and then you either approved or you disapproved. And then when you walk away, that money is gone. How much you spend is gone. If it's $200 or $300, it's gone. And the average Guyanese don't work for enough money, man. So, so I'd ask him a couple of questions like that. And then I would ask him if he can tell me briefly, I'm honored to have you. Tell us why you're here. That. I personally would like to see more activity that's positive coming out of the US. Um, I know at one point when I was very small, we had military persons stationed in Guyana, right? I don't remember if it's US or British, but we had military persons stationed in Guyana. Even recent years, we've had military soldiers there doing things in Guyana. And we have an airport at Linden, which is not used basically for anything, you know? Is it possible that they could maybe resuscitate that airport and have us use it for purposes that are beneficial to Guyana and maybe even bring the Air Force there, put the base there? I don't know. That's just my thinking. You're not doing it to take over, but you're doing it to bring more security to the country, maybe help us to fight crime a little more. Those are the kind of things that I'd like to see happen, and not to be negative about things. We need to, we need to, as Guyanese people, need to think bigger. We think too small, and we don't see the big picture. We always limit ourselves to our imagination, which is sometimes very small and narrow. So I would I would hope that something big that's positive comes out of this visit, and I would be open-minded. So don't be negative. Don't knock it down or knock the visit down and cast it as something that whatever you think. But be open-minded and wait. Go to him with positive vibes and let him respond with positive vibes to you. And you never know where it's going to go. Okay, you never know. All right. There are many countries where U.S. bases are they're actually in place, and wherever those bases are, a lot of good things come out of there. I've been part of the military, so I can tell you, wherever those bases are, it's a lot of economics that occur there. There's a lot of maybe businesses that spring up, and lots of benefits. So if a base is established in Guyana, that might be a good thing because relationships can open up, and who knows, Guyana could become a country where visas are not required to go to the US. You never know. You never know. So I mean, you can't tell me that most of the people who are there would not like to visit the US for some reason, one way or another. I wouldn't want to think that. I think most of the Guyanese people who are there, especially the younger folks, would love to be able to go to the US and at least experience some of what it's like. Maybe have the opportunity to maybe attend or further your careers in one way or another. So don't let's be narrow, let's be broad, and let's think big, because Mr. Pompeo may be coming there to open up the gates to the US. You never know. You just never know. So just don't be negative, right? I wanted to share a few things with you today because we've had some situations where we're finding persons high levels of cholesterol, and we're wondering why is it that it's happening, and why so much? And what I found is that question, many persons are cooking with olive oil, cooking with olive. And I'm suggesting that you don't. Don't cook with olive oil. Try to try to understand that olive oil is a good oil. However, it is good to be used cold. Okay? Or let me see this here. Okay, if you're going to uh, use the olive oil, use it maybe to baste the pan and maybe pour it in after you finish cooking. Pour it in after you finish cooking and then stir it in if you want. But don't heat it. It changes the composition and it becomes it's like pouring it looks like when you pour oil or water in your engine head, what it looks like. It looks kind of like muddy. I'm not saying that looks like that, but the viscosity changes and the oil actually becomes a bad thing for your health. Okay? So you want to cook with maybe coconut oil. And what we normally do when we screen you, we would actually give you a list of things that you should not use, and it will state clearly what oils you should not use based on your body's needs. All right, so for now, use coconut oil, use less oils, but don't cook, fry with olive oil. Don't, because you can create problems for your arteries. Okay? Let's see what else. You were told to grow your own foods. Grow your own foods. Many of you who are home, I don't know how much longer you're going to be home, doing nothing. Get out there and plant. Plant. It's so therapeutic to plant and so beneficial to reap. You reap foods that you plant, and when you do that, it's a beautiful thing. I have so many persons who send me their gardens from us talking about planting while you're home because of the COVID situation. And those gardens look so beautiful. I mean, and the people are so happy, and they're actually having their own foods out of their pots and pans, so I can't wait. I just can't wait to have my own garden again so that I could number one, use it as therapy, because I always did. I use planting as therapy because as you plant, you think and you look at the miracle of the seeds and the miracle of growth that occurs, and it's so mind-boggling. From a little seed you get this big tree, or this plant that you can eat, or this pepper that you can use, or this orange, or whatever it is that you can use. So if nothing else, I think that it's a good thing to plant because you benefit so much. It's amazing. All right. Now, I want to take a little step away from what we're talking about normally and get into something that is very concerning to me. We're finding in our screening that women are suffering greatly from sexually transmitted diseases. And I mean, they can't give it to themselves. I don't know how they would. Some of them are born with diseases that are transmitted, but for the most part, it is passed on to them by a man who sometimes is not aware that he has a problem. You know, it's a sad thing because we're finding large numbers of persons with those conditions, large numbers of women with those conditions, and thank God that men are now they're now coming around to getting themselves checked properly by our system, and we are finding the hidden STDs that are not discovered normally because they don't have any symptoms. And I used a motto. It came to my mind this week one morning about 2 o'clock. I awoke, and what came to my mind is that at our facilities, we find what labs miss, or we find in our facilities what is undetectable in labs. You know, and I don't have a problem saying it, and I wish that persons would come who doubt us and see how we do it, because it is not a miracle. It's been around for over 18 years. And it's amazing how we get down into the DNAs and find things. You know, we find diseases that are unbelievable to some people. And talking about unbelievable, it happened. Many of you, and I talk about it also, you don't believe the findings. When you believe it, is after the person dies. And we just had that happen. You know, somebody came, didn't believe the findings, and within a few days, the child was gone. You know, they didn't believe the findings, didn't pick up the medicines, but the child is gone. And those things hurt, because you feel that if they had only maybe if they had only done it, they could have saved the child. We don't know. You will never know. But I'm telling you folks, don't doubt the findings. Don't doubt the findings. Even if you do, take the procedure, follow it. Follow it. In the end, you will be the beneficiary. It's no joke. This is no play toy. This is serious. All right? Guaranteed accurate in the world, 96%. Approved by the FDA. It's no joke. Okay? Now, what I want to say to women is that, and I was saying this to women all week, one of the reasons why these STDs and other conditions are brought on to you by men is because you ladies sell yourselves too cheap for the most part. Excuse the simple language, but I'm going to explain. In the past, a man had to earn his way into a woman's life. He couldn't just say some nice things and get there. You know, women in the past had more pride. They had more, I think, ambition. They had more, I'm not saying that women today don't, but parents were stricter with girls, especially. I know about that because I know what my sisters went through. There were 7 of them. There are 7 of them. And, well, there's 6 now. And I knew back then how strict my parents were, because they couldn't go hardly anywhere without a brother, you know. But in today's world, the girls are free to go wherever they want, as long as they want, to do whatever they want. And they end up in problems in sometimes in pregnancies, sometimes in hospitals, sometimes in debt, because they allow themselves to be bought by guys too easily. You know? So what I want to say to you ladies today, take a stand and stop it. Let men earn their ways into your lives. Let these guys prove to you that they deserve to be in your life at whatever point you let them. You know, many guys or men today are less ambitious. They're not as ambitious as they were. They're not as committed as they were. And I'm a guy, I'm a man. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from that standpoint. They're not as committed as they were. And you allow yourselves to be bought easily by these guys and fooled easily by these guys. Some of them, they come into your lives and they're looking for a handout. They come into your lives and they're looking for you to take care of them. They come into your lives and they just want to make a mess of your life. You know, you women need to take a stand and make these guys be where they need to be as men and start finding reasons, good reasons to have access to you. I think that women are responsible for what is happening with men today because you sell yourselves too cheap. These men need to go back into finding their careers, finding their life's purpose, having jobs, having their education. You know, too many men are just idle doing nothing, coming up with schemes to figure out what's the easy way to get into your life as women. You know, I see too much of the damage that's done, and I feel sometimes sorry and sad because it's a shame. It really is. It really is a shame. You need to take a stand, and the men that are allowed to get into your lives at whatever level you let them should be men who are committed, serious, educated, working. They're professionals. They're businessmen. They're working someplace honestly, you know, and they're going to be good providers or whatever. But stop selling yourselves so cheap and stop doing it so early. Many of you little girls are giving yourselves away for pennies, if I can say that. You're giving yourselves away to conductors. You're giving yourselves away to people who are just looking to use you. Stop it. And you parents of these children need to educate them. You need to spend time educating them because no one else will better than you could. You know, you need to take time and sit with your girls and educate them about what is required to have a man not damage you as a child the way I was damaged if you were damaged. What is required to allow a man to make a commitment into your life before you give yourself to him? You know, it is a shame to see so many of you women suffering the way you suffer. So many of you little girls have lost the treasure that you have because you were so careless and you allowed yourself to be bought so cheaply. You need to stop it because you are responsible for the men who are out there doing nothing. You are partially to be blamed because you're allowing them to have their way with you for nothing. I've seen so much of the damage that's done. I've counseled so many. I've seen so many of you sick because of a dirty man, or a man who has dirt on him and don't know he has dirt on him. And you men, you need to make sure that yourselves are checked, because you too are going to suffer. If you don't suffer now, you're going to suffer later, because guess what? Those STDs will take a toll on your reproductive organs like you could not imagine. You're going to end up with some sickness that when it's discovered, it's going to be maybe too late to save you. I'm telling you what I see. Okay? I'm talking from what I see. I'm talking from what I know. All right? I don't know how I can get points across to you folks. Sometimes I think we are too nice to you. Sometimes I think we're too easy and too straight up and too honest with you, because you're so used to having people con you that when you find people who are serious about looking at your health, you take it for granted and you think that there's some cheapskate that's coming into your life to save you from the box. I hear my staff complaining every day about the things that some of you say to them. And you don't know the commitment that they put into you and your life, and the sacrifice they make to try to help you to be a better, healthier person. And some of you say some of the worst things to them because you think that they're conning you, you think that they're robbing you, you think that you're and you go places where you're seen, and you're seen as a number and not as a human or a person who somebody cares for, and you walk away from there, you can't say a single word. I witness it, my friends. You go to places and you see people there who just want to get you out of their way as fast as they can and give you something to go home with, and you're still suffering and you don't say a word. And you come to places where people, not only us, there are others, where people care about you, and you just don't understand. It's like if the devil is working with you. We take time to find what is wrong with you. We spend hours sometimes with you trying to get to the bottom of things. And you still don't understand that it is the love and the care that we show, that we want to give to you, that's caused us to have to, that's giving us the patience that we have to spend the time with you. What is wrong with you? Sometimes I think something is wrong with your brains. You can't decipher good from bad. Like some of you girls, you can't decipher con from real. You don't know when the con man is coming and when the real guy is coming. You're so used to being conned by con men that you don't know when a real guy comes to talk to you and to want to be honest with you. You all need to get back into focusing on what your purpose of life is, both men and women. Why are you here? Why are you on this earth? What is your purpose? You're underage. Spend time learning. Spend time with your books, with your computers, with your teachers, with your elders, when I say elders, because there's some elders who are some bad guys too. There's some people who come to your lives with motives that are sick motives, and you don't realize it. They come so smooth. Some of the guys come so smooth to you that and sometimes this happens because fathers don't spend time with daughters. If fathers were to spend the right quality time with daughters and show them the love and the care and the concern that they should do with the girls, these girls will become better citizens, they'll become better stewards, they'll become better humans and better decision makers. I also blame the fathers for the lack of commitment to the girls. Because you don't show them the love, when some con man out there sits with them and speaks with them and caresses their minds, because you're not doing it, they feel this is what they need. And they're sucked into something that poisons them and just destroys their lives. I blame some of you fathers for that. And I blame some of you mothers for not working along with the fathers to help these girls and boys, not just the girls, The boys sometimes become criminals because you don't sit with them and educate them properly. You don't spend time with them, schooling them about the things of life. Guyanese, you need to wake up and get our country back how it used to be. Whatever you have to do that is right, you do it to get your children to understand how important it is to wait until the time is right to do certain things. It's so difficult to find a young woman today who did not give herself up. It's so difficult because it's happening even in schools. I've seen videos. It's happening in the classrooms. It's happening around corners. It's happening in places, in minibuses, in cars. It's happening all over the place. Just because parents are not spending the time to educate the children properly about what is important in your life, and you children and you girls are not taking the time to learn what is my purpose in life. Many of you don't finish high school because you give yourself up for the wrong reasons and you end up being pregnant. And then once you get pregnant, your life is changed forever because now you have to look at someone else. It's never the same. Once you have that child, your life is not the same anymore. Once you give up that precious virginity that you have, you're never the same. You're never the same. I've met some women recently who they're in their 30s and they've never been touched by a man. Maybe they'll be nuns. Maybe they wait for the right guy. Maybe they just don't want to be messed up by some guy. Maybe they've seen so much of the bad that they're afraid. You girls, you women need to stop taking men just because they have something that can make you feel good for a few minutes. That's all it is. For a few minutes, my friends, you could be messed up for the rest of your life. I've seen so many pretty faces that are dead today, young, dead, HIV, AIDS, and everything else. Why? Just because they were mismanaged or they mismanaged their own lives, conned by someone too early. I know some of you don't like what I'm saying. Some of you don't like hearing me talk. I don't care. I speak it because it's the truth. Many of you need to be taught the realities of life. I see so much sickness. I see it every single day. And I screen you and I see you and I know, you need help. And we go all out to try to help you. And some of you don't believe it. Well, some of you will never believe it. And some of you will never know to believe it because you're not going to last. Soon enough, you're going to find out that really something is wrong. I always question, why is it that you go someplace, I don't know where you go, and you tell the professional that my head hurt or my foot hurt or I have this problem, and you walk away and you still don't know why you have it, but yet still you're satisfied that you went and you got something. When you walk away from a professional, I don't care who they are, it is important for you to know why you went there in the first place. What is it that's causing my problem? Even if they tell you something that sounds real, let them tell you something so that you could believe that this is why I'm having a problem. You can't tell me that you have a problem and a doctor or somebody can tell you ain't nothing wrong with you. You're having a problem. You're still having the pain, and yet still you're being told it's psychological. Nothing is wrong with you. Come on. And you buy it. Some of you go places and you don't even understand the language, but you walk away smiling because someone tells you something that makes you feel good. You don't question them. But when you come to our clinic, you question everything. You ask everything. You chastise the people there. We try so hard to help you. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You don't know this, the energy, the sweat, the efforts that goes into trying to get you to feel better. You don't know. You don't know. 96% of you will feel better. 4% wouldn't. 4% is not going to believe, you're not going to follow. But listen, the 96 outnumbers the 4. And that's what's important. If you 4% don't want to believe it, God has to help you. We can't help you. You know? The other thing is, you want to spend money on things that are getting you sick, but you don't want to spend money on things that will make you better. And some of you will spend money on the things that are making you sick, and continue to spend money on the things that are making you sick. Not even thinking that you're doing something to make you better, but you're still doing what makes you sick. How is it going to work? It never will work. You cannot keep doing what makes you sick and expect to get better. It is not going to work, my friends. It doesn't work. You can't not want to stay in school, study your work, and expect to come out in the end with your degree. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Then you'll be a bat out there with a degree. If it is given to you. Sometimes I think people are given degrees. I think so sometimes. Well, we know that honorary degrees are there. People do get honorary degrees, of course. But they would have earned it somehow. You know, let the men earn your presence. Let them earn your life. Let them earn the part of you that you give to them. Don't settle for less than what's best for you. I'm telling you, too many of you are hurt, and I see it. Some of you sit there and I see you crying. And you're crying because you know you messed up. If you only knew, you wouldn't have done it. Please, women, let these men get back to work. Let them get back in the classroom. Let them get back into being professionals. Let them get back into being deserving of your body, of your parts, of your life. There's too much going out there, too much sickness out there, too much STDs. Too many men are transmitting STDs, and some of them don't know they're doing it. Yes, I'm speaking from what I know, not what I hear. I'm speaking from what I see. And we will do everything we can to help, and we've helped a tremendous amount of people to overcome those problems. And we're going to continue to do it. But you cannot continue to do what you're doing, because we're going to continue in a vicious cycle. We need to clean our acts up. We need to clean our bodies up, clean our lives up, clean our homes up, clean our countries up, clean our drains, clean our kitchens, our living rooms, our bedrooms, our minds. Clean up your mind. Many of you have poisons in your mind, toxicity in your mind. In your hearts, you're loaded with hate and discontent. You're loaded with envy in your heart. You need to cast it out. You need to have a crusade that can remove all those negatives out of your life. Some of you think negative all day. You're so negative, you look like negative. Start being positive about things. Start becoming more of a contributor. And try to help someone that needs help instead of hurting and pushing them down. Many of you are just like demons, just out there destroying people's lives. Stop it. Stop doing it. Please. You know, there's so much I want to talk about. So much. I wanted to also talk about many of you who rush to surgery. You know, I talk about this from time to time. Listen, if you own a car or a motorcycle and you have a light that comes on that says engine, for example. What you want to do is to somehow investigate why the light came on. Find out. It could be a short somewhere. It could be a malfunction of some sort. It could be something that's beginning to go bad. That is, it's causing. It's giving you a warning. It's giving you a notice that something is beginning to happen. If you remove your organs, like you do, some of you, just because you want to get rid of pain or discomfort, you are removing a part, for the most part, of your body that's like the light that comes on, that says engine. When you take that part out, my friends, you're actually allowing another part to bypass what it's supposed to be there to give you an indication that something is going wrong. Many of you have gallstones and you go and you just have your gallbladder taken out. What a mess. What a travesty. That gallbladder is there for a purpose. Now how are you going to process those fats that you continue to use? If you have a gallstone, this is a new era. You have medicines that can remove gallstones. And then you want to stop doing what it takes that causes the gallstone. Do you really know why you have a gallstone? Do you know why you got a gallstone? Many doctors can't tell you why you got a gallstone. I'm telling you that. Ask them. Many of the doctors that you go to can't even tell you why you have a fibroid, why you have a cyst. They can't tell you. Many of them can't tell you that. Many of them are not nutritionally trained to tell you lots of things about your diet. But your diet is a key element in what is happening with your body. It's a factor that is almost necessary in every case to understand. Many of you are digging the grave with your teeth and eating yourself into your graves. You're eating the foods like MSG and Ag, and you think the cubes is okay, and the cubes are laced with Ag and MSG, and it's killing you slowly and you don't even know it. Many of you women are consuming foods that are high in estrogen, and you're wondering why you're having problems with all sorts of things in your reproductive organs. Many of you men are having breasts now, and you're wondering, how come I'm getting a breast instead of a chest with muscles in it? You don't understand why you're getting that like boobs. You need to wear a bra, some of you. Find out why. You have a phone, you have a computer. Google, learn, do the right things with your devices so you can learn more about your body system. Don't just take the part out, because when you take the part out, you're robbing your body of a part that is there to process other things. Stop doing surgical procedures radically. When you do that and you come to us, you're giving us headache. And you're giving yourself further problems. Because now, if you pull the fuse, like you do with a car, because the engine light come on, you're going to pull the fuse out of the part that the engine light come from, right? You keep asking, tell me when the light go out. You keep pulling a fuse. Tell me when the light go out. When the light go out, you say, oh, that must be the problem. You pull the fuse out and you put in the car. Next thing you know, one day you're on the road and the car shuts down. It doesn't start again. Or you blow some rod out of your engine, or something goes on fire in your car, and you're wondering, how come this happened? Well, when you got the warning, you pull the fuse. When you got the pain, you went and got surgery. Then you're wondering, how come I'm suffering with all these things all of a sudden? Well, you pulled the fuse. You took the organ out. There's no protection anymore. My friends, the fuse in the vehicle is there to protect components that if the fuse is bypassed, it can create a bigger problem. My friends, those organs are there for a purpose. When you take them out, you are removing the fuse, and you will have eventually a bigger problem in the end. Think twice, sometimes even 3 times, before you have a surgical procedure done to remove your body parts. You can't replace them hardly. So, if you have a gallstone, hypothetically, all right, and you go to the doctor and he says, listen, you have a gallstone, we have to take out the gallbladder, all right? He takes out the gallbladder. Pain goes away, right? Yes. But something else is coming sooner or later. If he can do that, then if you have a kidney stone, why doesn't the doctor take out your kidney? Have you ever thought of that? I'll say it again. If you have a gallstone and you go to the doctor and he says, doctor, I got a pain in my tummy, and he checks you and he says, you got a gallstone, you got to get your gallbladder out of there. And you let him take out the gallbladder because you had a stone in the gallbladder. 1 gallstone, you take out the gallbladder, maybe 2. If you have a kidney stone, why doesn't he say, let me take out your kidney? Have you ever thought of that? Should be able to do the same thing. It's a stone. Why doesn't he take out the kidney? Have you ever thought of that? Do you know where the gallbladder is in your body? Check it. Check the purpose of your gallbladder, and you'll see how vitally important it is. Why doesn't he take out the kidney if you have a kidney stone? Think about that. Should be same thing done, right? Wrong. He would think a million times before he takes out your kidney because of a kidney stone. Why do we allow ourselves to be bought so cheap? Why? Why are you giving people a hard time who are there to try to help you to have a good time? Why? What is wrong with us? I am saying to you Guyanese people today, and whoever you are listening to us, think twice, think sometimes 3 times before you make those decisions that are causing you to have pains and discomforts at the end in the rest of your life. Think again. Get opinions. You don't believe me? Then get it from someone else who will give you an honest opinion. You should know who might be able to give you an honest opinion, I hope. We've been in practice now since 1992, 93. Y'all know that? Since 92, 93. We don't lose people that easily. Those who take us serious are still here today. For the most part, they all are here. And we maintain the lives of a whole lot of people. Some of you, you don't believe us, but I can't help you. You know, when Jesus Christ was on the earth, look at what he did. I'm not comparing myself to him. But in the end, although he did all that good, some didn't believe him. They called him all sorts of things, all sorts of names. And then in the end, they crucified him. They crucified him and nailed him on a cross. Huh? And he was Jesus. Who am I? You know? When I think of what they did to him with all the good that he did, I just smile because I know that we are there doing what we feel is the best for anyone who comes to us. I'm not saying this because we have a problem. I'm just saying this because you need to know who's going to be good to you. You need to know who's going to be taking the time to try to help you to be a better human, a healthier human. You know? I'm saying to you, know who your enemies are. Know who is out there that's going to take the time to try to look after you. I'm saying to you, my friends, pray and ask for guidance. Those of you who do pray, so that you could be guided to make the right decisions in everything you do, including choosing your partners. And I'm not saying that what I'm saying about women because it doesn't happen to men. Men are affected too by women who pick up diseases and don't know they have it, or some of them know that they did. You know, there's some wicked people out there who transmit diseases because they know they have it, and they're so hurt that they don't care who they give it to. I've heard women say that, and I've heard men say that. That's downright wickedness, evil. I'm saying to you folks, please, please, think twice. Think 3 times sometimes. And allow the Holy Spirit, if you believe that, to guide you correctly in every decision you make. Even in your life's decision, even in your life's purpose. And you women, stop selling yourself so cheap. And you parents, spend more time with your children. If you guide them correctly, they will hardly turn out incorrectly. Hardly would they turn out incorrectly. Spend more time with them. Teach the girls what is right, what is best for them. Teach the boys. Fathers need to spend more time with their sons and their daughters. And there are many men out there who are wearing pants that are not good fathers. I'm telling you that. I have 3 sons. And let me tell you, you can call any one of them anytime, and you can ask them about their father. You know? I talk to all of them at least. I even got one. I got one who I adopted. A few of them. But there's one who I know he knows who I'm talking about. I talk to him like my son. I treat him like my son. I look after him like my son. You know? Because he too deserves to be treated fairly. All of you deserve to be treated fairly. But do the fair things. All right? It's time for me to go, I know. And I appreciate you listening. I didn't say anything I hope to offend any of you. But I want you to think again. Before you make decisions that are costing you. My operator is saying I got some time, it looks like. I don't know. You need to text me because I know it's 7 o'clock. I love my operator. You know, we had a discussion apparently on our last program, and I was saying how I love my operator, and it went live. You know, people heard that, and they went, "How could you say that on the air?" But I can say it because she's a beautiful person, and she's been good to me. She hasn't done me any wrong. We get along fine. We talk about anything. If she has to cry, she can cry on my shoulder, you know, and guess what? Guess what? We good friends. Good friends. And I do love her because she's doing a job that many of you women should think twice to wear her shoes. Go wear her shoes, you know, and see what she's doing. You know, I got 10 more minutes. Wow, nice, thank you. She gave me 10 minutes because I big her up. I don't think so. But you know something? You know something? We need to learn to love more. First, you love yourself. No, you love God first. Then you love yourself. Then you love others. Love your children. You know? Love your children. Love your parents' children. If my parents were alive today, they would tell you the love that I give my parents, you wouldn't believe it's my parents. You know? I give my parents the kind of love that I think most parents deserve to have. Because my parents loved me. And they were responsible for me. You know? You children and you parents, think about it. If it wasn't for your parents, where would you be? Many of you would not, all of you would not be here if your parents didn't do what they did to cause you to be here. So you love your parents, you know? Don't treat your parents as if they're stepchildren or they're strangers or they're animals. Some of you talk to your parents as if they're animals. I've heard some of that too. Respect your parents. And parents, respect your children. Sit with your children and talk with them like your friends. Talk to them realities of life. Don't allow them to end up in the pits that you had to struggle to come out of. Teach them how not to fall into those pits. I know you wanted me to, I had some serious stuff to talk to you all about today, you know. I wanted to share with you the benefits of avocado, you know, and maybe I can do some of it. Maybe I can do. Let me see how much I can do in 10 minutes. Maybe. Listen. I want to share some things with you. Right? Give me a few minutes, okay? Now, I want to give you some reasons why you need to cherish your avocado. Okay, and listen, guys, listen. Those of you who sell avocado, don't go out there and raise the prices, all right? Plant more and sell more, okay? Listen,